Oof! Headbutt! Yeah! Charge! It's justice o'clock! Hero incoming! Running late again. Hurry up, Varesa! Time to roll. You ought to stand down! One fell swoop! Fiatena, grant me strength! By my spark, the night burns! Maximum power! Ultimate flying kick! Oh, so shiny. Are these edible? Did that grow out of the ground? Ugh, this is infuriating! That was a cheap shot! You're pretty tough. Let me help. Not good. Can't stand losing. My strength is gone. Stop it! Ow, ow, ow! Too strong! Are we going on a trip? Or to a competition? Woohoo! This is gonna be fun! Will there be enough food? If not, I brought my own stash. Hi. I'm Varesa from the Collective of Plenty. I'm a warrior, and I also manage an orchard. If you're into food, or if you want to buy fresh fruit by the cartload, or if you like hero stories, then we should definitely hang out. I'll show you all the good food around here, give you the best quality fruit in our whole tribe, and tell you all the coolest stories about the biggest heroes in history. My parents always say, no matter how busy life gets, you should always sit down and enjoy a proper meal when you get hungry. What I like to do is stack my plate up high, then squash it all down, take a deep breath, and wolf it down in one go. That way, I get to eat my fill without wasting too much time. Strength is one of those things where you gotta use it or lose it. So, wanna train with me sometime? There's a lot that goes into managing an orchard. Watering, weeding, fertilizing the soil, making sure the temperature is right. But most importantly, you have to keep the fruit in a good mood. I bet the crops back in the orchard are loving this weather. Guess the Saurians won't have to water them today. I read that Fiatena could send lightning bolts right back into the sky. So I've got nothing to fear either. Look at this stuff. It's so white. And so cold. Is it edible? So nice and warm. Nothing like the warm sun on a full stomach to make me feel... like taking a nap. With the wind behind my back, I bet I could run even faster. No, that's the lazy way. No shortcuts. Good morning. I kinda wanna go right back to bed, but... No! I can't. 100 push-ups. That'll wake me up. Time for lunch. Full strength starts with a full stomach. A hero once famously said, if you feel exhausted by evening, that means you've worked hard today and given every ounce of your strength. So sometimes feeling tired can be a badge of honor. I haven't used up much energy today, but it's so late that I'm getting kinda sleepy. Why don't you find yourself a nice soft pillow and we'll call it a night? The best pillows are those ones made from dried green fruit leaves. Remind me to bake one for you sometime. Theoretically speaking, the more you eat, the stronger you get. Assuming you're also training hard and not just sitting around eating all day. But that rule seems kind of reversed in my case. I started out super strong, with the trade-off being that I can never seem to get full. As soon as I started helping my parents out in the orchard, I'd be getting dizzy with hunger every few hours. So, yeah, that's why I have to eat such huge portions. Even if it might look a little, over the top. I've always loved hearing the tales of our heroes, ever since I was little. It's thanks to the battles they fought that I get to eat delicious food and sleep peacefully at night. One of the heroes from our tribe was called Fiatena. She could run really fast and had this awesome flying kick that could split mountains in two. Someone once said that my fighting style reminded them of her. That made me so happy. I was beaming with joy for the longest time. My friends have told me all about your amazing past. You've defeated a ton of super strong enemies and ended up with loads of cool-sounding titles. I think we should get one of those graffiti artists to make an art book of you in different styles with an epically cool look to match each title you have. Then, loads of kids will grow up reading stories about you, and they'll be inspired to become someone epic just like you. From the way that the woven scrolls describe it, a vision appears at a pivotal moment in your life and slowly descends into your hand, glowing with a brilliant light that seems to say, "This has been ordained by fate." But I guess I must have forgotten all that stuff, because all I remember is I was having this awful nightmare where I was fighting off monsters at the entrance to my tribe for what felt like an eternity. And I nearly died. Then, when I woke up, there was a vision just lying on my forehead. Maybe I was blessed by a hero in my dream or something? I made this mask for myself after visiting the Children of Echoes a few times and getting some of their craftspeople to teach me a few things. My intuition told me to base it on the mask that Fiatena wore on her second time fighting in the Night Warden Wars. She wasn't yet the fearless rock that she'd go on to become, but in that battle, she still managed to conquer her fears and defeat all the monsters who confronted her. I believed that that mask could become an endless source of courage for me. And based on my experience since, I was right. I've heard that members of the Adventurers Guild get to travel all over Teyvat. Imagine that. So instead of worrying about the business or the shelf life of fresh fruit or being confined to one place all the time, I could go anywhere in the world that I want and try all of the food there? But I can't be gone for too long, because I'll always need to help out at the orchard once in a while. Do you know if the guild takes part-time adventurers? Ian-san is my coach. I look up to her the most out of anyone. She helped me discover my true strength, taught me how to fight, and even got me a job in our tribe's patrol team. She's pretty well respected in the patrol team, so most of the time she gives me my orders, and I go join the fighting wherever I'm needed. I guess that makes her both my coach and my commander, too. I heard that the plates Malika uses on her barbell lifts are 5 times the weight of her flame strider, and that she uses 10 plates minimum just as a warm-up. I also heard a rumor that she can lift a boulder the size of a long-necked rhino with just 2 fingers. If anyone else was crazy strong like that, I'm sure I'd be too self-conscious to lift weights in front of them. But with Malika, it's different. I find the sound of her voice so reassuring, and the look in her eyes is so inspiring and encouraging. It makes me want to push myself as hard as I possibly can every single day. Sure, I may never catch up to her, but that's no excuse to give up. I'm gonna believe in myself and be the best Varesa I can be. There was this time when Coach Ian-san noticed I'd overshot my target weight and decided I needed a cutting phase. Since swimming's supposed to be good for fat burning, she arranged for me to do an intensive program over at the People of the Springs territory. I'd be there swimming lengths while Mualani was surfing around and towing Coach Ian-san in a life preserver so she could monitor my progress. Every day, she made me do pretty much the same distance as I do in my 30,000-step shuttle runs. Oh, thank goodness Mualani was secretly slipping me some candy to keep my energy up. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have survived. I'm so grateful to her. I haven't entered the pilgrimage that many times, but once I came up against Kanich during the group stage. That guy is so nimble. He was just dodging all of my moves until I completely exhausted myself. Then he knocked me out cold with one hit. By the time I realized that maybe I should get my teammates to help me pin him down, he and the Sacred Flame were long gone. When I was learning my crafting skills from the Children of Echoes, Mahuru's Gemporium is where I went to study. The craftspeople there talked about Shilonen all the time. I actually only saw her around once or twice, and I never got the chance to talk to her, but boy did I get familiar with her music taste. She put together the playlist they have on in the shop, and all the tracks are super catchy. Really good beats. Perfect for running, too. I swear I can go for way longer on my shuttle runs when that stuff's playing. Oh, I've seen her name in the Reader's Letters column of some comic books. Granny Eatsley is extremely well respected. She's the most powerful hero from the Masters of the Nightwind. But I gotta say, I always assumed she'd look way older. I didn't recognize her at all when I found her in the tavern in a drunken stupor. She didn't have a single mora on her, and she was mumbling to herself, but the only words I could make out were Masters of the Nightwind. So I paid her bill, threw her over my shoulder, carried her over to the Masters of the Nightwind, and started asking around for Granny Eatsley. But whenever people turned to look at this person slumped over my shoulder, a look of horror would creep over their face. And then it slowly started to dawn on me that something wasn't quite right. I believe that there are far more good people than bad people in the world. They build the comfortable houses we live in, the nice furniture we use, all the delicious food we eat, and they make the amazing music and all the other fun stuff we enjoy. Even if I miscalculate the price when I'm selling fruit, my customers are usually kind enough to let me know rather than take advantage of it. At least, I've never met anyone terrible enough to make me really dislike them. Monsters, on the other hand, I don't know what their deal is, but they're the only ones I get seriously angry at. Especially the ones from the Abyss. They're cunning and terrifying and just all around awful. The Abyss attacked the Collective of Plenty when I was really young. So many people I knew got hurt. All my parents and I could do was hide away in a well-hidden cellar and barricade the door. I still remember the sound of the monsters trying to ram the door down. I was so scared. I didn't even dare to cry out loud. Thankfully, the patrol team got to us in time and saved us, but it got me thinking. Even if the heroes of the past were immortal, there'd only be so much they could do. They couldn't be everywhere at once and protect everyone and everything. But maybe, if I trained hard enough and learned how to fight, maybe next time, instead of waiting to be rescued, I'd be strong enough to fight off the bad guys myself. When I was first learning to fight, as soon as I came face to face with a monster, my legs would start shaking uncontrollably. I told myself, I just need to drive the bad guys away, and then I can go back to living my happy life. Then I'd put on my mask, close my eyes, imagine that I was a hero from the stories I'd read, and charge at them. I always managed to plow into them and send them flying, even though I couldn't see where I was going. One time, I knocked a Hilly Troll's club right out of his hand, and it went flying off and hit Coach Yan-san square in the head. That was how she first noticed me, and she decided that I had talent and took me under her wing. I love camping in places with a great view. There are some really spectacular spots along the route that our fruit carts take. After you've pitched your tent and set up your cooking pot, it's so nice to relax in a reclining chair by the fire, sing some songs, admire the scenery, gaze at the stars, then dig into some piping hot food. Haha, it's the best feeling. I just don't get what the deal is with those books Coach Yan-san reads. They talk about this science-based training method that people in Sumeru and Fontaine came up with. It seems so overcomplicated, like, just because of something called body fat percentage, of which mine is apparently too high, Coach Yan-san doesn't let me fill up on sweet stuff and doubles the amount of vegetables in my diet? I just find it pretty rough. I always eat to my heart's content, until I feel buzzing with energy. I love anything with a ton of flavor. Sauces go a long way in that regard, and for me, a tasty dish has always got to have plenty of sugar in it. Blazed meat stew and hot spring o'clock are two of my favorites. Every single bite is pure bliss. Oh, but I gotta watch it or I'll feel guilty afterwards. I don't really go for burnt, expired, or undercooked food. Even if I can get past the taste, it just doesn't seem to give me any energy. Oh, I guess I'm nothing like Fiatena in that sense. The stories say that in the worst days of the war, she survived on moldy tacos and burned meat that was practically charcoal. Ugh. And she still managed to fight off the enemy. I have no idea how she did it. Oh, that was so good! I'm in heaven. You are an incredible cook. If you ever got invited to cook for Epic Feast Showdown, oh boy, people would be licking their plates clean. And so many more people would sign up to that, honestly. I might even struggle to defend my title. I don't really go for burnt, expired, or undercooked food. Even if I can get past the taste, it just doesn't seem to give me any energy. Oh, I guess I'm nothing like Fiatena in that sense. The stories say that in the worst days of the war, she survived on moldy tacos and burned meat that was practically charcoal. Ugh. And she still managed to fight off the enemy. I have no idea how she did it. This tastes amazing. I could have 100 more of those and still not get sick of it. Oh, no. Don't go cooking 100 more just for me. I could never ask you to do that. Well, I mean, I could eat a little more, I guess. I don't know why, but somehow I'm struggling to get all this down. Maybe because I skipped the appetizer? It's like this dish is a battlefield, and the hero has to fight their way through to the end. Yeah, that's it. This is the taste of war. All right. Jaws of victory. Going in! Today's your birthday! I'm so excited! The tradition in our tribe is to get all your friends together and host a bonfire feast in your honor. The birthday person gets to cheers everyone and drink as much as they want. Although, with you being so famous, I guess you'd end up having to down at least 1,000 drinks. Which would be great fun, I'm sure, but probably not the best thing for your liver. And it could get exhausting, too. How about something more low-key instead? Like a private party at my secret campsite. Whoa! I'm really feeling the results of my training. I'm so energized right now. I just want to sprint and jump and plow through all the obstacles in my way. Yeah! I am brimming with energy! It's like I've just eaten 1,000 helpings of blaze meat stew. I'll be ramming and fly-kicking with the force of an erupting volcano! My goal is to become a strong warrior just like the heroes I admire, and fight to protect the most important thing of all, justice. Because everyone deserves a happy and carefree life, uninterrupted by the bad things and bad people out there.